Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and I am here by myself for this episode, except for my dogs who are by my feet. Kneon is elsewhere. So we're going to talk today about the Rachel Zegler-led live-action Snow White movie coming from Disney. A new insider, well, not a new insider, but an insider just claims now that it is a complete mess and it's not working, and they're trying to do reshoots, and this movie is just not coming together. I cannot confirm or deny. That's what a rumor means. So before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo, woohoo. And we're going to talk about this. So if you aren't familiar, Disney's doing a live action Snow White film, and it has been basically cursed since day one. It has been one disaster after another, both PR and actual disaster. We had Disney originally going on saying that they were going to replace the actors with dwarfism for magical creatures. All right. So way back when they first started casting for this, Peter Dinklage had a little mini meltdown about how backwards this movie is and went on about dwarves living in caves, which is not what happened whatsoever. Tell me you haven't watched the movie without telling me you haven't watched the movie. In response, according to the Wrap, they had said this. They said, instead of dwarfs, Disney will fill the void with a group of what they describe as magical creatures. According to a casting sheet, they were looking for voice actors to give the creatures personality. It's unclear if they will inhabit the same roles as dwarfs. They don't know if they're going to be mining for jewels. They don't know what they were going to be. All right. And Disney kind of had said, to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original film, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community. We look forward to sharing more as the film heads into production after a lengthy development period. Lengthy development period describes this movie perfectly because it has been going on forever. So they had that backlash. And then there was the set literally caught on fire. They finally got to filming and the set caught on fire. I mean, I don't know what other sign they need to know this movie is a bad idea. They go from that, and then you had Rachel Zegler out there making comments, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But now Cosmic Book News has this tweet, and the tweet comes from Empire City Box Office, and he's actually refuting something that Daniel RPK said. Daniel RPK said Disney's doing something different with the poison apple, which I'm sure they are. The film was also praised for being great, he said. And this is what Empire City Box Office said. I actually can refute this report, as I said months ago that it was in trouble before they moved it back a year, which I've heard multiple places. It actually is testing poorly, and those involved don't have much hope for it. The film is a mess and not working despite reshoots. Again, they said that, he said this months ago. I don't know if it's been different since then. I doubt it highly. This whole thing has been nothing but a cluster of epic proportions. Disney will not just give up on it. We're going to talk about that in a second. But it doesn't help that you have Rachel Zegler out there making comments like this. I was scared of the original version. I think I watched it once and never picked it up again. I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on a ride in Disney World, which is called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. I was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So yeah, let's make her the lead. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie. All of Andrew Burnap's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. I just mean that it's no longer 1937. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's going to be dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. Apparently there was comments made by, I think it was Gal Gadot talking about, the mirror and the fairest of them all is just probably who's the most fair, the most just, not like the prettiest. It just sounds like a big old huge, derailment from the original film. And I mean, I get modernizing it somewhat, but it's Disney's like big film. That's what kind of set them on, put them on the map and set them apart and set them down the path of being one time huge, dominating force in animation. Not so much anymore because they kind of just shot themselves in the foot. But that's what they're out there saying. And it's not helping. Like, this woman needs to shut her mouth because she is not helping at all. Last fall, they announced the date of the film was going to move from March 22nd, 2024 to March 21st, 2025. They blamed it on the pandemic well, it got delayed first, and then they blamed it on the SAG-AFTRA strikes. But this thing has been a train. The fire happened. Oh my gosh, when did the fire happened clear back on March 16th, 2022, more than 2 years before the movie was supposed to release. They were filming it then, and now it's not coming out to 2025, like March 21st, 2025. I mean, this doesn't add up. It shouldn't take this long to do a movie. Now, they did announce they're going to put CG characters into it. Originally, you weren't getting dwarfs, so now all of a sudden, last year, here's all the CGI dwarfs that they're putting in that completely were supposed to be there the whole time. Now, look, she made comments that she was reading against those characters before, so they probably were going to be there the whole time. I just don't know if they were supposed to be CGI the whole time, or if they decided to do that later on. But what I do know is the budget has to be out of control, because Caroline Reed at Forbes, who we've talked about before, had said that Disney spent $209.3 million as of July 2022. Now, they got a $41.1 million UK tax rebate. I'm not sure if that's counted that total or not. But that was, before they had to do all this reshoots, before the CGI work. You're talking almost 2 years ago. So I'm sure that this has ballooned up since then. I'm not sure what it's at now, but I'm sure it's significant. And unless they bring 500 million, 600 million plus to this movie, they're not even going to break even. I'm expecting the marketing to be ridiculous, so it might even go higher than that. Because they will not give up on this movie. This movie is a train wreck. The live action movies are a train wreck. I'm hearing now that the people behind The Hunchback are saying they don't know if it's going to move forward, The Hunchback of Notre Dame live action. Frankly, they need to scrap all these live actions and stop. Because they're just going to do some lazy race or gender swapping BS, and then no one's going to like it, and then they're going to blame it on the bigots, and it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. The Little Mermaid live action movie only maybe made them like $50 million. Here, it was $44.6 million. After deduction, everything else, they made $44.6 million profit. That's what they made on The Little Mermaid. Because no one went, and they advertised the heck out of it and pushed it. Made sure everybody who questioned it were called bigots, everything else, and then it didn't do well. And it could be because people didn't want to see it because they didn't want a race swap. More likely, it's because people are so tired of these lazy ass live action remakes. I'm not going to say cheap, because they keep spending a lot of money on the stupidity, and they don't learn anything. I can't wrap my head around it unless they want huge tax write-offs. I can't understand why you would keep doing it, because it's not been working for a while now. But anyway, apparently this insider is claiming that they're having trouble. It's not doing well. It's testing poorly. It's not going together. They're trying reshoots. It's not working. Cannot confirm or deny. I'm not there, so I don't know. This does sound, the reshoots and the poor testing has been something I've heard before. But depends who you ask. So we aren't going to know for sure unless somebody actually from the filming comes out and says so. But this makes sense. They pushed it back a whole year when they've been working on it for quite a while. Why would they need to do that if it was all going together and it was so wonderful? Anyway, comment, let us know what you think. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.